Hey everyone. So today I'm going to do like an entity possession part 2 vlog because I really want to talk about the Orion Group. If you haven't heard of what the Orion Group is, let me tell you, you need some awareness on this thought group. So yesterday I talked about egregores and entities and possessions and how they actually occur. It starts inside of us, and I will link yesterday's vlog down below. It all starts within us, and then because we're low vibration, and I explain vibration, then the external environment, and you can call the external environment also thought processes, like a pendulum. Negative thought, let's say, is to the left, and negative thought actually outweighs positive thought a lot of times. But let's call that negative thought the Orion Group. So today I'm going to talk about the Orion Group. What is the Orion Group? The Orion Group is a service to self, negative polarity. Okay, so what does this negative polarity mean? In the law of one, they use an example of Hitler. Okay, and what they say is, I'm going to read it to you. So what Ross says is that the example of Adolf, and he says, or Ross says, the intention is to presumably unify by choosing the distortion complex called elite from a social memory complex, and then enslaving by various effects those who are seen by the distortion as non-elite. So basically what Ra is saying is, if you take the example of Adolf Hitler, and what he did is he considered a particular group as elite. And everybody in his mind that was non-elite, he murdered, got rid of. Okay? So what this does is create separation. So the service to self, negative polarity, the main task of the Orion Group is to create separation. I am different than you, and unconsciously, you may not even be conscious of this, but you think you're better than them. And a good example of this is if you've ever walked by a homeless person that's got their little cup out and, is looking for money. When you walk by them, there's two thoughts that will go through your mind. A, get a job. Get a fucking job. You did this to yourself. Get a goddamn fucking job. Thought one. Thought two is one of empathy. And actually, it's not one of empathy. Let me take that back. It is one where you feel sorry for them. You're not empathetic just yet. The second thought is you feel sorry for that person who is sitting there with their cup asking for money because they have nothing. And what happens in that feeling sorry for them, it's actually your own fears of losing and of lack and of having nothing. So what you've done is you've taken unconsciously everything away from this person, homeless person, and now you're projecting their homelessness, their lack onto yourself, and you're like, oh my God, I feel so sorry for them. The third, because I already talked about empathy, so the two are service to self. You're still thinking about yourself. The third one, service to others, is when you feel empathy for them. And empathy kind of feels like, oh man, what brought you here? In your mind's eye, you think, I am so sorry that whatever happened in your life took over your mind, and your experiences became you, like your experiences of lack became you. Then you take whatever change you have or whatever money you feel like giving and you put it in the cup. That is number 3. That is service to others. So service to self path of the negative polarity is the Orion Group. And what I just talked about, the third one, which is empathy, is consciousness. Let me show you how. So if you can imagine this as consciousness, and it looks like an eye, right? And this, like the information that I present here, I love Di Stefano, Matthias Di Stefano, love him, watch his vlogs. A lot of the information I learned from him, and then also the law of one, okay? So so imagine this as an eye, okay? So here's consciousness, and then here, so consciousness is, visualize it as bigger than you, right? It's like all above, it's everywhere, it's the universe, it's down below, it's all energy. But consciousness is like kind of like a tree where it's service to others all the time. It's non-judgmental, but it's unfed. Like the tree needs water, but that's about it. Look how much it gives. So consciousness is waiting for an experience, and the experience is given by us. So we have worldly or universal consciousness here, which is unfed, looks like an eye, but in between our earthly experience is of the subconscious mind. So this is the subconscious mind here. And then this here is the unconscious mind. So this, you have the subconscious mind, and then you have the unconscious mind. I hope you can see this. It's important. So you look here, it looks like an eye. You have unfed, universal, cosmic consciousness, never judges. Then here, see, enclosed between the subconscious and the unconscious, then here, depending on where you are in your consciousness, you have your personal consciousness, who is the observer. So you are the other eye. So cosmic consciousness is one eye. Cosmic consciousness is one eye. It's unfed, and it's just feeling your experience. It's feeling your experience. But in between the two eyes, the third eye, like in between these two eyes, in order to open up the pineal, the third eye, you need to observe the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind. Without this, there really is no experience. So what happens with the Orion Group, let's get back to that. What happens with the Orion Group, which is service to self, not service to others, service to self, but in a negative polarity, like Hitler, okay? Have that in mind. So what this thought group does is it actually, it affects everybody. Like it affects people who are walking into consciousness, or people who are highly vibrational and they maintain meditation, they do yoga, they are taking care of their organs by fasting and increasing their stem cells, their DNA, all of it. They're doing their work. Let's say this high frequency is those people that are coming into consciousness, okay? So the subconscious and conscious mind aren't so prominent. So what the Orion Group, because their thought formations, right? That's what they affect you. We're humans. So even if you're at a high vibration, that means nothing. That means nothing, because we're human. We will be in a low vibration always because of the polarity. So when we're in this lull of low vibration, when they can, what they do through telepathic communication, the Orion Group, and this happens to me all the time now, and I let it go, but it happens a lot. And what happens is they throw pictures in your mind's eye, like a thought of trauma, of doom, of tragedy. And they do it so quickly. Like, for example, my phone will ring and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? And right away my thought goes to, oh my God, someone died. Oh my God. And the person that passed away in my mind's eye I'll see them. But I know, thank God I know that this is the negative polarity. Because I'm human, I'm in third density. I need to check my fucking frequency, because if this thought is coming to me, that means that I need to get into yoga. I need to meditate. I need to do my blogs more, because this is healing. Now, somebody who is in a low vibration, so who has huge lulls, look at this huge lull here of a lower vibration, a frequency that is of lower vibration. What happens to these people is the Orion Group, what they do, because you're in this subconscious, unconscious mind more, what they do is they come in with manipulation. So let's say I imagine this vlog wasn't a spiritual vlog and it was more about manipulation. So I'm here and I'm manipulating you now, and I am giving you some sort of, I don't know, some story or whatever that benefits me. So if you buy into my story, you're going to buy my product. I'm going to sell you something. So what happens is the manipulator gets service to self through the manipulation. So I'm serving myself. I'm selling you something. I might be telling you a fake story, but I don't give a shit. You are being manipulated, and I am giving you this story of this product. Okay? So that is service to self. So the other person, so whoever's listening, you are listening to me. So this becomes service to self, because you're like, oh my God, this person, I want this product. You start becoming invested. And that, when that invested happens, what happens is, so manipulators get service to self through manipulation while attaining service to others by the one being manipulated. Now I've become a service to you because you are buying into my story, and you're going to buy whatever I sell you. So what happens in that aspect is then you will turn around and you will manipulate others. And because what you spend money on, you're going to think it's the greatest, right? Most people don't want to, they'll deny if they buy a shit product, because most people lie to themselves. They'll lie to themselves about products too. So then they're going to go out and be like, oh my God, even if it's mediocre, especially the elite, if they buy a product over $200, like a face cream, they're going to tell everybody it's fucking fabulous. And you look at the ingredients and it's a bunch of bullshit ingredients. But they're going to go around telling people it's bloody fabulous. Fabulous. So these kind of service to self negative polarity is the Orion Group. Love you guys so much. Bye.